Rebecca and Freakshow, a summer special mini-sode. The obligatory beach episode. Written and narrated by Dinostar Tim 2. A portal opened in the middle of a car park as Rebecca, Freakshow and friends all stepped out. It was a beautiful, sunny summer day, and the gang had all decided to have a fun day at the beach. The car park faced a dune of beige sand with tufts of tall, thick grass splattered throughout. Freakshow stepped forward, taking a deep breath through their nose, taking in the salty sea air. They placed their fists on their hips and closed their eyes. Ah, smell that, folks? The salt in the air, the wind in your hair. Pure bliss. They said as they turned to the others. As they all stepped forward out of the portal into the warmth of the afternoon, they all took in Freakshow's frankly ridiculous attire. They were clad in an old-fashioned swimsuit, woolen and striped in purple and green, along with their hat being shifted into a black straw hat, with a deep green strap around its base. As the group gazed upon their strange outfit, Ellie couldn't help but snicker. "Freaks, mate, what the hell are you wearing?" she asked, as Cami and Liz also began to giggle. Freakshow's expression fell in confusion as they looked down at their own body. "What do you mean?" they asked. "This is a perfectly good swimsuit." They looked to Rebecca, who was in a blue one-piece, the bottom of which flared out like a skirt, along with black slip-on shoes. Freakshow still bore a confident look in their eyes as they looked to their friend, before she responded. "It is a little out of place," she said, pointing to the beach. Freakshow followed her finger and gazed at the people down on the sand, seeing many men in swim shorts and muscle tops, as well as women in bikinis and wetsuits. Freakshow's face fell again as they realized that Rebecca was right, but before they could say anything else, Ellie, Cami and Liz all rushed past them towards the beach. "Come on, guys! Last with the sounds of rotten egg!" She jeered like a big kid as she grinned wildly, taking the guitar from off her shoulder and strumming it incoherently, as Cami and Liz ran up behind her. Rebecca and Freakshow silently looked at one another before both breaking out into laughter, before also following behind. Rebecca tying her hair into a ponytail as they walked. The day was full of fun and laughter from everyone, although Rebecca did start off feeling a bit self-conscious. Her outfit wasn't particularly revealing, but the exposed stretch marks on her arms and thighs left her wanting to hide. But after a short moment of watching her friends having a blast, as well as other women with similar bodies to her own having fun with no shame, she relaxed and joined her friends, having fun and even taking a dip into the salty sea water. Once Cami and Liz touched the sand, Liz began hopping around with excitement, practically vibrating as she happily stemmed next to her friend. She was wearing a blue swimsuit beneath black sweatshorts, as well as her typical slip-on shoes, alongside the addition of a Kirby baseball cap atop her head. As she bounded along, she tossed a frisbee she had brought with her to Cami. He caught it and looked up at her as she smiled widely. Cami wore an open light blue Hawaiian shirt with white flower designs on it, paired with yellow trunks, white slip-on shoes, and his sunglasses, and his hair tied up. He smiled at Liz before asking, "You want to play fetch?" Liz didn't say anything, flapping her hands in excitement and nodding vigorously. Cami chuckled and got ready to throw the plastic disc. Liz practically exploded with happiness. She scrambled to get her shoes off as Cami readied himself. Once Liz was ready, he spun around and threw the frisbee through the air. Liz scurried after the disc, shifting into her werewolf form as she ran, moving into running on all fours as the transformation was complete. She caught the frisbee in her jaws before stopping, standing upright and taking the frisbee out of her mouth before throwing it back to Cami, who caught it after flipping down his sunglasses over his eyes. Ellie approached Rebecca and Freakshow, holding 2 ice cream cones in each hand, which both seemed to be for just her. She was wearing a dark grey muscle tee with deep blue swimming trunks and black sandals, with her dreadlocks tied back in a long ponytail. "Freaks, bro," she said after licking some ice cream off the side of her mouth. "For real, man, you gotta change. You look like someone out of an Obligatory sketch," she said with a chuckle. Freakshow gave her a quick side-eye before sighing. Alright, you win. And lucky for you, I've learned quite a lot from watching the people on this beach." Before the others could ask what they meant, Freakshow shifted into their female form, their strange swimsuit morphing into a 2-piece bikini, with a semi-transparent lavender dress around their waist. As Rebecca and Ellie's jaws seemed to drop, Freakshow straightened their sun hat before shooting Ellie a smug look. They sauntered off, as Ellie just looked on in shock. Rebecca walked after her friend as Liz bounded over, with Cami riding on her back. They both had huge smiles on their faces as they were saying something to Rebecca. Ellie approached the friend group as Rebecca started laughing before turning to her. Dude, Cami said we can bury him in the sand. Ellie chuckled at this before an idea flashed in her head. Oh, what if we made him look like a mermaid? She said with glee. Liz laughed at this and Cami gave a casual shrug. Fuck it, I'm down. He dismounted the lycanthrope and lay down on the soft, warm sand, as the girls, plus Freakshow, all split off to gather sand. After about an hour of digging, placing and sculpting, Cami was covered up to his neck in sand. The mound around his body sculpted into the shape of a mermaid's body and tail, with Freakshow carving details in with their claws, as well as Ellie adding and patting down extra amounts of sand on the chest to give the sculpture a truly impressive bust, at least in her eyes. As the group were laughing with Cami at how funny he looked covered in sand, Ellie dug into her bag and pulled out a Polaroid camera and positioned herself for a selfie. Oi, guys, say cheese! The group all huddled around Cami and Ellie took the picture, the image printing out of a small slot in the bottom. Ellie took it and shook it to let the image develop, as Cami placed his sunglasses back over his eyes for a quick nap. Hours passed. The beach was less packed and streaks of orange filled the sky as day turned to evening. The group were gathered around in a circle, with Ellie strumming along to a song on her acoustic guitar she had brought with her. A relaxing tune, a stark contrast to the kinds of music she usually played. Liz was back in her human form, sitting next to Cami, his clothes covered in sand, and his face, neck, and arms incredibly sunburnt, although he didn't seem to notice or care. Rebecca was standing at a grill that Freakshow had brought through a portal, along with a propane tank and a whole bunch of meat and drinks. She flipped a burger with her spatula before taking a sip of a beer she had placed on the ground. Freakshow sat near her, back in their male form and their old-fashioned swimming costume. They looked out at the sea, which reflected the evening sun in a gorgeous golden-orange shimmer. They closed their eyes, taking it all in. The smell of the sea mixed with grilled meat, the sounds of music and laughter from their friends, the pleasant warmth from the sand beneath them, and the cooling feeling of the beer in their hand. They took a swig and let out a sigh, finding themselves truly at peace. However, as they sat in this state of bliss, they felt something small, a cold drip onto their nose. They opened their eyes and looked up. The sky above was now grey, and the heavens were beginning to open. The group all scrambled as they realised they were being rained on. Ah, typical Northern Ireland! Rebecca groaned as she hurriedly covered the grill, as Freakshow arose and opened a portal back home. Looks like we'll be barbecuing indoors tonight, they said, as the group funneled through the portal back home.